All right, excited about being part of this organization. I'm fired up to lead this defense. It's been a lot of fun. I love coming to work every day, working with this staff and these players. It's the best staff I've been around, surrounded by great football minds, the success that they've had in their previous experiences as coaches, and I really feel like it's allowed us system-wise to take the next step. The players have been great. The buy-in's been awesome. And the thing I like the best about them is how much they love football, and it makes it really easy to coach them. Questions?
What have you been trying to get out of, like, what's the first step for you when you get these guys together, especially now that OTAs have started? What are you trying to find out about this group?
You know, we're trying to get them to build a strong mental and physical foundation, you know, just with the scheme and then the techniques we're asking them to do. And then we talk to them about 3 attributes that we're looking for as a staff that will allow them to be successful in the system. The first one was being relentless. We want to coach guys how to play football, not how hard to play. The next one was accountable. Everybody's got a job. Get your job done. The guys that consistently do that will be the guys that will play for us. And then the last one was productive. There's a lot of guys that are scared to make plays. We want to find guys that trust their technique and are confident enough to go make plays in this league, because that's what it's all about.
What would you say, or what do you want to be a hallmark, the hallmarks of your defense? Is it going to be a blitzing defense? Do you want a lot of takeaways? I mean, what are you aspiring to this season?
The thing that's great about this system, and I think the reason it's had so much success in the league, is it's built to fit the skill sets of the players. We don't force the players to fit the scheme, but that's what we want to be, and I like what I see so far. I think that our mantra right now is we're going to stop the run on early downs, and then we want to confuse and hit your quarterback.
Well, last season, there weren't many hits on the quarterback. I mean, the sack numbers were one of the lowest in franchise history. Are the pieces in place for you guys to be a good pass rush, or is that an area that you really have to scheme up?
Yeah, I mean, again, in this system, we've done it a lot of different ways. We've been able to, at times, rush 3 over the years and get pressure on the quarterback. We've been able to rush 4 at times and get great pressure on the quarterback. And then when we haven't had a great pass rush, that's when you pressure and you blitz more. So we're going to find ways to get after the quarterback, whether it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys if we have to. Because if you let quarterbacks be comfortable in the pocket, it's hard to win.
Talk about it over the year, like what?
Just in my experience with the New York Jets, my experience with the Buffalo Bills in Cleveland, and then now here.
Jim, I feel like in Cleveland, Jim Leonhard was the key piece to your defense when it was firing. Right. Have you identified a player that can maybe fit that role, or is going to be the signal caller in the back?
Yeah, Jimmy was unique just because he played in the system so many years, and he traveled so many teams with us. He was with the Ravens, he was with New York, he was with us in Buffalo, and then he was with us in Cleveland. So far, I've been really impressed with the safety group. Buffet and Eric Reed are very, very smart football players. And with this being the 4th time I've been a part of an organization installing this system, those guys are further ahead than any other safety group that I've been a part of so far. So that's been very encouraging.
Was there any thought to bring Jim Leonhard on the staff?
No. Jimmy's working with Wisconsin right now, so we'll let him get his feet wet out there, and then we'll see where he's at in a few years.
Last week, one of the things that stood out when we watched was that Jimmy Ward was at cornerback and not back with the safeties.
Right.
How is that? How would you term that? Is that an experimental thing, and how does he look at cornerback as opposed to safety?
We don't know what Jimmy's going to be right now. I know he's one of our best 11. That I do know. So we're trying to find ways to get our best 11 on the field. So far, what he has shown out on the practice field, I'm confident that he could do it out there. So he'll continue to be out there this week.
Jim, this defense, the run defense, was always a top 10 defense with Patrick Willis on the field. He's gone, obviously. So how do you kind of just get this run defense built back up?
Well, I think that, again, one of the things I'm excited about is, Jerry Azzinaro on our staff, and he's had a lot of success with the techniques he teaches up front. And again, that's what I'm talking about when I say with some of the guys on the staff, we've been able to take this defense to the next level. But it starts with an attitude. You know, you got to be willing to stop the run. It's a lot of times you got to put your body in uncomfortable positions, and you got to be you can't be a selfish player. And then it takes all 11. It's just not on the D-line. It's just not on the linebackers. You know, it's on all 11. To play good run defense, it takes all 11 guys that are out there.
When you're installing the defense, what cut-ups are you showing? Are you showing the ones from Cleveland? Are you showing the ones from Buffalo?
We have a 8-year group of cut-ups that I've traveled with back from the 4 years I was with the Jets, the 1 year with the Bills, and then the 2 years with the Browns. So we've been able to mix and match and show the guys different cut-ups of things we've done successful and the defenses we're installing with them from all those teams.
Mentioned, we talked about Jimmy, and guys are moving around the defense. At what point do you want to have some of those roles solidified, whether it be, you know, like I would assume training camp, obviously, but do you want to have it done early in training camp where you can get those guys work in the preseason games, or are you more willing to wait and see how it unfolds closer to the regular season?
I think you got to wait until the preseason games, because I mean, right now you get a good feel for who mentally can execute the defenses you're asking them to execute. But you know, you really, with us not tackling, you can't see guys finish on the quarterback. You really don't answer those questions until you get in the preseason games.
Is the run scheme different than what it was in Cleveland? Have you guys tinkered with it?
I mean, we tried to build the run scheme the best we could to fit our personnel in Cleveland. Our personnel is different here, so yeah, it'll be different. Every year we're different.
What have been your early impressions of DeForest Buckner and the other rookies that you brought on this year?
Very impressed. You know, those two guys in the D-line, DeForest has done a great job so far. He's very versatile. He's a guy that we see being a difference maker in the run and pass game. Blair gives us a change-up, a guy that's, you know, can shoot gaps, make plays in the run game, and has a knack to get to the quarterback in the pass game. And I'm happy with the corners we took. So all those guys are coming along. You know, I think all the best football is ahead of them.
Do you have Blair as a defensive lineman at this
Yep.
point?
Right now, yes. But he's a guy, again, he shows the versatility to be able to do some stuff on the edge.
How about Eric Armstead? What are your impressions of him so far? And does he look like a guy who's more comfortable now in his second year?
Yeah, I think he's really comfortable too with Az being his coach. And you know, I thought he came on strong, you know, just with the film I watched from him from last year. And so far in the OTAs and the voluntary minicamp we had, he's shown that he could be a difference maker in the run game and pass game. So I'm excited about him.
A lot with Rex Ryan. How has he influenced your coaching style?
It's huge. You know, him and Mike Pettin, you know, both kind of put me under their wing, and they taught me the game at this level. And a lot of the schemes that we employ are schemes that were developed by Rex, that he probably got from his dad and from Mike. So it's been a big influence on my coaching career.
Where do you see Tank Carradine fitting in? I mean, is he working as an outside linebacker?
He's living in the outside backer room, but he's a very versatile player. He's gonna live in both rooms for us. So I see on early downs him helping us out some at outside backer, and then when we get into later downs or sub situations, he's a guy that can play on the edge, or he could slide inside and provide some interior rush for us.
At that spot, you're probably not going to ask him to be dropping into coverage too
Well,
much.
he's learning it all right now, and he's doing a really good job learning it right now. So he's been great in meetings. He's been great with Tarv in the outside backer room. So, you know, again, he's another guy that's in the competition. And I mean, everybody in our defense knows nobody's going to be given anything. Those guys are going to have to earn it. We don't care what you've done in the past. We don't care when you were drafted. To play for us, you got to earn it.
And is Brooks back? Has he been cleared to practice? Has he been practicing with you guys?
He's just doing walkthroughs right now. We're hoping that we can get something out of him by the end of the spring here.
And what's his condition?
You'd have to talk to Coach or Ferg about that.
You talk about, you don't want to talk about what guys did in the past, but Bowman obviously has done a lot.
Yeah.
Led the league in tackles last year. Do you try to find who suits him best to play next to him? Do you seek his input, or is that mostly off of film, what you see in practice?
Yeah, well, I'll start with Bo, and he's been awesome. The fact that he's had the success in the league in as many years as he's been in, I don't think he's missed a day, and I don't think he's missed a rep of practice. And that's rare. And that's been awesome. I think that's a great sign of a leader right there. As far as the guys that are going to play next to him, it's a three-man race right now. You know, and the way we're doing it, we have 9 OTAs. Everybody's going to get 3 starts. So Ray Armstrong's going to get 3, Mike Wilhoit's going to get 3, and Gerald Hodges is going to get 3. We probably really won't know, given the nature of that position, who's going to win it until we put the pads on. But I'm very comfortable with any one of those guys, and if all 3 of them deserve to play, then they all will play.
Jaquazi Tartt's kind of another one of those versatile players. Where do you see him fitting into your scheme?
He's competing to play at safety right now. It's one of our deeper positions. So whoever doesn't win the starting job between that group, we're going to have to find roles for them to do to get them on the field.
Ray Armstrong is a bit of a new name for 49ers fans, for us. I mean, what has he done well? What do you like about him at this point?
Smart, athletic ability. He's tough, competitive. You know, he's done a great job of learning the scheme. He can blitz. So there's not a lot to not like about him. I'm very excited about him.
Has he played that specific position before?
I'm pretty sure he was a safety in college, which you're seeing more and more of that now in the NFL. A lot of guys are taking the bigger safeties that played in the box and moving them to that weak side linebacker position. I think the first couple of years in the league, he's kind of been more of a special teams player. And, sometimes you find guys just because it's the right system fit. And he's a guy that has flourished so far. I'll be excited when we get back to training camp to see him in the pads.
Jim, how involved has Chip Kelly been in the defense? Is he in the meeting rooms a lot with you?
He sat in every one of our installation meetings. So, yeah, he's very involved. I want to build this thing to complement coach's offense. So, that's the best teams play complementary football.
So how does that change your scheme with his offense?
Well, obviously we're going to go fast. So teams for us are probably going to try to run the ball a little bit more to wind the clock and keep their defense off the field. So it probably makes offenses a little bit more predictable if our offense has it rolling. So.
You earlier said that it seems like you've already determined that Jimmy Ward is one of your top 11 players, correct?
That's the way it's looking right now.
Okay, how did you reach that conclusion? What did you
Just
see?
athletic ability, football knowledge, what his skill set brings to our defensive system. He's a guy that, just watching him and the way he's practiced and the way he's attacked the meeting rooms, he's a guy I know we have to get on the field.
Do you have the same line of thinking with Tartt and kind of that, you mentioned the evolution of the safety role and playing down in blocks? He played a lot of that
Right.
hybrid position and dime and things like that. Do you need to carve out a role for a guy like that?
Yeah, again, right now I'm focused on finding who are the 11, you know what I mean? And then if we have 15 or 16 guys, we're going to find ways to get them on the field. You know, if a guy has earned the right to play for us, we're going to find roles for him to do and get him on the field.
All right, guys. Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys.